forever under all this emptiness. Each time I try to get inside, you're on my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you leave me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. They say that time is a healer. I don't believe what they say. I'm broken anyway. Ever since we parted, all this pain has started. It's never ending. Under all this emptiness, each time I try to get inside, you're on my own, no time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Don't tell me you love me when you're sorry. It's not enough. Ooh, no. Only this time I woke and broke and free. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, 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 Amelia.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope that you guys have had a good start to your week and that you had a good weekend as well. Of course, I didn't see you on Saturday night, I saw you on Friday night, so we had a bit of a change in the schedule of the live streams, but now we are back to normal. And hopefully you can see me and hear me and everything should be working normally, because I'm back in the studio room and it should be hopefully working. We will see, fingers crossed. If you can let me know in the live chat room if you can hear me and see me, that would be great. I can see myself on the feed on the screen and I'm getting normal output levels on the video, so everything seems to be fine. We see and hear you, Phil, so it seems that everything is working well, Phil, Laura says, so thank you guys for letting me know. Right, let's see if we can get everything up on screen as we normally do. I mean, it should be okay, but before we get into the live stream, I will get my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. So thank you guys. You know who you are. They are really the foundation of everything that I do. So yeah, massive shout out to these lovely people at the bottom of the screen. Now, for the Gremlin report tonight, it was interesting because I set up the live stream last night in exactly the same way that I do all the time. And I think some people were getting told it was tomorrow. Some people were getting told it was tonight. Other people were getting told that it was a different time, 3 a.m., 5 a.m. and then 10 p.m. And yeah, I got lots of messages from lots of different people saying that it's showing different times and different dates. So anyway, I went into the live stream settings and I looked at it, and what it had was the date of the live stream said October 22nd, but when it said 22nd, the 2 had a number 3 written over the top of it. So, and I tried to take a screenshot, but I pressed the wrong button and it refreshed the screen and I didn't see it. But it's the first time I've ever seen that. So YouTube thought there was a live stream happening, I don't know, on the 22nd and the 23rd at the same time. But obviously that's why, well, people are getting all kinds of information. So if you're ever in doubt, I always live stream at 11 p.m. British summertime, which it is now, but it's going to be Greenwich Mean Time soon, I think. So just type in time in London, England, and 11 p.m. is when I'm going to be live streaming on a Tuesday and a Saturday. Regardless, whatever YouTube is telling you is just lying, and it's obviously having a bit of a, I don't know, an off day or a gremlin day. So yeah, that's the time to be ready to go, because that's when I will be ready to go. So hopefully it'll work in the future, but if you just adjust everything to UK time, then it will be fine. So let's see if we can get the likes goal up on screen. And tonight we are aiming for 505 likes. So if you could hit that thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated, because if we do hit that target, then we will have Phil Jam number 181 at the end of tonight's live stream. So let's get the likeometer up on screen, which is there. And we are at 233 likes so far. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. And we get a bit of a spike going on. That means we're almost halfway. That will be like 250, and now it'll be 252 plus 5, 257. I'm trying to figure out, and now it's gone past that. So maybe that was right, what I said. Maybe it wasn't. But yeah, when it jumps, it's very difficult to do the maths. But we'll just brush over that maths for tonight's live stream. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on that likeometer and see how we get on. Right. Now, it's important as well that you guys know that you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. So I do put up on screen for those people that can't resist donating. I think it's important that you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But just watching is great, and maybe introduce yourself into that live chat room. And as I say that, let's give a quick shout out to you guys in there. We have Mimi321, Laurie, Matt, Jade, Karen Rowe, Early Dude 95 has gone through too quickly, so I can't see. Okay, and then we've got Harvey, Cindy, Bob, Val, Ro, Deborah, Liz, Josie, Angela, Vera, Sue is going through there as well. And I can see that I did get tagged in one of those comments, or a few of them, and Lucy just says, howdy Phil, but it went through too quickly for me to see what the question was, or what that particular tag referred to. But anyway, I can see that there have been donations in the Super Chat window, so thank you guys for those. And I will jump into the PayPal donations as well, and I'm going to have to move this out of the way so I can actually see what's going on over there. And first of all, I will do the Super Chat window donations, and Karen donated $20, so thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, thanks everybody for the kind messages after Jonathan was hit by a car on his motorcycle. He's an artist, so his left hand has multiple broken bones, but his right has a broken thumb. So blessed. So thank you for that, Karen. And yeah, I hope Jonathan gets well soon. And hit by a car on his motorcycle. Now, something that I've never really been into are motorcycles, because yeah, for me it just seems like, yeah, well, obviously some people have got a passion for it, and yeah, for me it just seems like if it's just too open. I like to be inside a car, so at least I'm protected a little bit. And yeah, I think something that I will say is that when I was young, maybe 11 years old or 12 years old, I was in a minibus crash at school, at my secondary school. And yeah, I was quite young, and the crash that we had was, it was a wet road and we weren't even going that fast, but I happened to be looking out at the front of the minibus, and I'm talking about, when would this have been? The early 90s. So I think all we had were the straps that you put around your waist. So I had that on, the seatbelt, but the seats in front and the seats behind, what they had, it's a really thin, like felt that sat over metal bars. So anyway, yeah, it was raining, and the minibus, we were going around a corner, but when we were going around the corner, because it was wet, we did a side kind of skid over onto the other side of the road, and what happened to be coming the other way but a huge juggernaut lorry thing. So, I was looking out the front of the minibus, and I could see, when you're skidding, and you can see, oh, we're about to hit that. But it was too quick for me to be able to adjust, or it probably would have been worse actually if I put my hands out, because then you could have damaged my hands or broken my wrist or whatever. But anyway, so when we hit the impact, it was only about maybe 10 miles an hour, but the impact of hitting that that massive lorry obviously threw me forwards, and I hit my face on the metal bar that was in front of the seat in front of me. So having this belt around your waist was totally pointless, because it doesn't stop your head from going forward and smacking into the front of the seat. So anyway, what it also had on that seat, because it was an old minibus and it had worn bits of plastic, a bit of plastic went through this bit of skin between my nose and my lip. So I then had to have that glued up at hospital, and thankfully it hasn't really left too much of a scar. And when you've got facial hair, it covers it anyway. But even without the facial hair, it's quite good that they could glue it and they didn't need to do stitches. So yeah, anyway, long story short, I think that experience as a kid, hitting your face on a metal bar in a car crash, was probably good for my road safety, because I know what it's like to headbutt a metal pole and just be brought to a stop from even just 10 miles an hour. And I think once you've got that physical experience of impact, then you're very careful when you're driving, or when you're kind of just driving, even at slow speeds. You're always looking around for potential people that might skid off the road and all that kind of stuff. So I think from a very young age, I've been conditioned to not even think about motorbikes, because I know even within a minibus, you're still not safe from having an impact in your face of a metal bar. So I hope Jonathan gets well soon, and certainly nothing that I've looked at or I've seen will change my mind about motorbikes. For me, there's just it's too risky, too dangerous for me. I'm quite happy being surrounded by metal in a car. But thank you, Paul, as well, who has donated $2. So thank you for that, Paul. And the message is 427,000 subscribers. Hooray! Spike the likes. Rock! So thank you for that, Paul. And did I change this? I have a feeling that I did. And there we go. We are organised for tonight's live stream. We are now at 427,000 subscribers. So thank you guys for subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, all of that cool stuff. It is very much appreciated. And as I always say, we'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. And we will be having a troll corner tonight. I just reminded myself of when I'm talking about things and saying that we're going to keep on pushing forward, still just do what we do and have the standard objective analysis videos that we get through. It's just reminded me of something that I'll mention in Troll Corner a little bit later on, so look out for that. And actually, going back to last Friday, I'm amazed that the live stream actually worked, that we managed to keep a connection for, I think, pretty much the whole duration. I don't know whether it was about an hour that we did, maybe it was maybe it's as long as a normal live stream. I can't remember, but I was amazed that, yeah, the hotel internet managed to keep the connection the whole time, which was great. I wasn't expecting that at all. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Paul, for that donation. And Deborah has donated $10 as well. So thank you for that, Deborah. And that is a straight up donation. And it's Deborah's first donation in the Super Chat window. So thank you for that. Now, let me just jump over into the PayPal window because Tracy donated after the last live stream. So this would have been on Saturday morning, early Saturday morning. And Tracy donated £10 and said, "Hi Phil, thanks for going the extra mile for us. It was a great live stream tonight. I've never been more proud to be a winger. Rock on, love ya, Tracy N." So thank you for that, Tracy. And yeah, like I said, I'm amazed that it worked, but it's good as well that even though it's really stripped back, that my laptop could run the software that I use. But I mean, literally copying and pasting the whole thing that I've got going on here. I use my Mac Studio for this, so it's a lot more powerful. But yeah, copying and pasting it over to my MacBook, it crashed 5 times and I thought, oh, it's never going to work. But then I started a new stream and just put on some basic things, and then that did work. So that's how, if I am having to do that in the future, that's how I'll go about it. We'll have a bit of a stripped back live stream, but it's good that it works as long as I have a solid internet connection. But thank you for that, Tracy. And Nicole has donated £12 as well. So thank you for that, Nicole. And the message is, "Hello, Phil. I'm sending this donation, but I'm not sure about the live stream this night. I hope you come back. Greetings from France. Kiss and rock for all." So thank you for that, Nicole. And yeah, we're back to normal. Tonight, I think, YouTube didn't really help by giving us lots of strange times as to when it thought the live stream was happening. But we are, totally back to normal now. And we'll be live streaming on Saturday as well as Tuesday, 11 p.m. As I've already said, look for the time in London, England, and then you'll know when I am going live. So Ian has donated £1 as well. Thank you for that, Ian. And that is a straight up donation. And Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, what is the trick/technique to get great hammer-ons and pull-offs? So thank you for that, Steve. And I don't think there's necessarily a trick, like something that you can do that will then just magically make them great. It's just practice and trying to, obviously, you've got to be accurate and you've got to apply a lot of force, but you've got to be forceful with your accuracy of doing hammer-ons and pull-offs. I might grab the guitar and let me turn on the microphone so that I can actually check that it's going to be working, because we are going to be having maybe a fill jam a little bit later on. And I mean, this might be clean with some reverb. Let me... Oh, yes, it is. So can you guys hear that? Okay, it is registering, I think, on my software. But anyway, yes, so hammer-ons, pull-offs. What you want to try and do is, and it doesn't really matter where, if you're doing it at the bottom of the guitar like that, you'll find that once you start, after the pick and you do the hammer-ons and pull-offs, you'll start to get a bit of a decay. The first ones are quite obvious, but then you might find it might kind of go like this. It might go a little bit quiet. So that's all about your pull-off that you're doing. So because the string is vibrating, when you then do a hammer-on, and this is it, you've got to try and apply quite a lot of force, and you'll start to hear the difference between kind of going and going. If I do it quite softly, so you've got to try and get that power and the accuracy at the same time. Now, when you do a pull-off, you want to get that string vibrating as much as you can, and this is where actually kind of muting the strings is quite important as well, because if I now do a pull off and I'm not muting the other strings, you're going to hear all of those. So then it's going to turn into, and you'll kind of hear all that. Whereas you want to pull off, but you might be able to see that my first finger is resting on those other strings. So it's kind of, as you pull down and let go of that string, it's difficult to kind of do this consciously, because all of this stuff gets stored subconsciously once you get to, once the muscle memory gets the idea of it. But as you pull down off the string, you kind of want to hold those other two strings very lightly to stop them from ringing out. But anyway, and that's it really. Just you want to try and make sure that you're doing a good pull-off, because the pull-off is what's going to make the string vibrate again, and the more it's vibrating, the more you will hear the hammer-on. So that's it. And I know that I'm doing first finger here, and obviously on the open strings, something that you'll hear that kind of thing. Hendrix used to do that. Just do hammer-ons and pull-offs very quickly. Getting into now further up the fretboard, it's the same principle, but now obviously you're playing the note with your first finger, and you want to kind of hammer on and do the same pull-off. Now what's happening here is my first finger is fretting the 5th fret A string, but I'm resting on the D, the G, the B, and the high E string. So I don't really take this in. Well, you don't take it in when you're doing it, because this is all stuff that you work on quite early on. But keeping the rest of the strings quiet means that when I'm going and I'm doing those hammer-ons and pull-offs, when I'm pulling down, I am hitting that D string and maybe even the G string, but you can't hear it because the first finger is keeping them quiet. So that's what makes it kind of nice and clean. And that, and the good thing is, you might want to practice. We're just about to have an advert, so let me skip that. You might want to practice, and you should really, hammer-ons and pull-offs on a clean tone, because the more distortion, overdrive that you put on your sound, the easier it's going to be. So you might have a pull-off or hammer-on and a pull-off that's going, and it might sound like that on a clean tone where it's quiet. But then if you put loads of, I'll tell you what, I'll give you an example. Going, that's exactly the same volume as doing that, but with loads of overdrive. So it means that the distortion, because obviously it's amplifying that signal, it's making it not a true representation of the technique. And this is why sometimes when people play on, if they're learning to play the guitar and they're just using distortion all the time, then when they come to play clean and then they go and they do hammer-ons and pull-offs, and then they realise, I can't hear it, what's going on? So you want to make sure that you're, if you've got that, that volume, then when you put distortion on, it's going to be really clear. So that's kind of how you want to, if you can get your hammer-ons and pull-offs nice and clean, but at the same volume, like pick. These are two picks. Pick, 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 pick. And now my hammer-on is the same volume as a pick. So that's what you're going to be aiming for, is so then whenever you're playing a run, or if you're just doing a trill or anything, you want that to be the same volume as all the other notes that might be picked. So yeah, that's what I would say. So in terms of the trick or the technique, it's just going to be practice, and it's all about the accuracy and getting the power at the same time. It might happen to begin with that you go and you might miss the string that you're aiming for, like that, but it's just repetition. Once you've got the hammer on, kind of get used to giving it. I'm pushing into the guitar there and dragging down. I'm going to exaggerate it, and you can hear it bend like that because of the amount of force that I can put into it. Obviously, when you're playing, you'd be a lot more subtle with it, but if you really want a good pull off, then as long as you're fretting that first finger nice and solidly, you don't want to kind of go and then bend the whole thing down because your first finger's too light. You want to be really fretting that first finger so that now you can push into the guitar and the string isn't going to move. So I don't know whether there's a trick or a technique, but that is the technique. And like with everything with the guitar, but any skill in life, in order to get better at it, you just have to practice it. But make sure that you're doing it slowly and you kind of get a feel for it and what is quiet, and then being able to do kind of loud. And it might be the case that you might want to go, and you might want to have that really subtle sound to it rather than being really aggressive all the time. So it's just working your way through it, and the more you practice it, the better you will get. Oh, quickly, somebody asked me about pinched harmonics, I think it was. But anyway, they're saying, can I explain them in a live stream? And not that I'm going to go on for too long with this, and this probably isn't the best guitar to be demonstrating, but I do have distortion on my sound. So a pinched harmonic is where you get that sound. So you're stopping the string from vibrating with your thumb is what is happening. So you're picking the... So you get a pinched harmonic. Those are harmonics that you're hearing rather than go... You get a different, overtone to it, the harmonic overtone that comes through. Exactly the same. Like I said, this isn't the guitar to do it because you'd use something that has humbuckers, which is going to give you a thicker signal. But there, that wasn't too bad. So hopefully you can hear the difference between and. I don't know whether it's going to be clear enough, but what's happening is what's happening is you're picking the string and doing this in slow motion. You're picking the string with your, and this is going to be the string. You're picking the string like this, and then as you go past the string, you're stopping it from vibrating with the soft part of your thumb that comes through. So, the first time I actually started to do pinched harmonics or artificial harmonics were, catching the string with I was playing with my nail, and then I realised that I occasionally got that sound, and I didn't know what pinched harmonics were at the time. So what was happening was I was picking the string with my nail, and then the fleshy part of my finger was then catching the string afterwards. But I didn't know that was happening. I just thought, oh, it sounds really cool. But so if you want to get an idea about the theory or the way to do it, the way to approach it, then it probably helps to have quite short nails. But get your first fingernail, and if you've got it relatively short, not ridiculously short so that you're cutting into the pink part, you want to have a little bit of white nail there, but it's got to be short enough so that when you pick down with your finger like that, that is catching the fleshy part of your finger. And you know, like I said, if you want to work at this, you probably won't be doing this on a Fender Strat. You'll be having, like I said, like the Gem, for example, which has got humbuckers, which is, you know, for a lot more aggressive sound. And with pinched harmonics, you know, the more signal and the more distortion you add to it, the more dramatic it's going to be. And yeah, you'll find that there's, you know, with a lot heavier bands, you kind of get riffs that almost sound like. And all you hear is the pinched harmonic. All the other bits, it's like, what were the notes? Like, you can't hear anything in the riff apart from the little squeal at the bottom. So yeah, but like I said, that's going to be in a lot heavier genres, and they're definitely not playing Fender Strats with those kind of riffs and really kind of heavy things. But it's the same principle anyway. When you hit the string with your nail and then catch the string with the fleshy part of your finger, that's the principle. So now what you want to do is have that same approach, and it might even help to get your pick kind of, you know, in line with your first finger, so that as you come through, you know, it's the same kind of movement, but now the pick is hitting the string rather than your first finger. And the way that I do it is, hit the string, and then it's just catching the soft part of the side of my thumb as I then come through. Yeah, like that. And the thing is that you can start to kind of move it up and down, and you get slightly different sounds, slightly different harmonics coming through, because you're changing the distance between the pick and the note that you're playing. So there's loads of stuff you can do, and not that it's going to work on this guitar, but say for example something that it's not going to work really on the Fender Strat, but if you've got lots of distortion, like Eddie Van Halen, for example, used to do pull-offs, and you get that kind of sound. So you're hearing the harmonics as you move your palm kind of up the strings. But obviously on a Strat, it's not going to sound like it did when Eddie Van Halen was doing it. But hopefully you can start to get an idea as to the rough kind of sound. So there you go. Well, there's hammer-ons, pull-offs, pinched harmonics, and put that there so it doesn't fall down. We will maybe be grabbing that later, but yeah, as for any kind of tricks or things, I think the most important thing is just to be learning to do it the right way in the first place and concentrating on technique. And as long as you start slow and you focus on the right things and just make sure that every time that you're practicing is just quality practice, then you'll be fine. And try to avoid getting into bad habits. It's all about, if you can do, you're practicing on a clean tone, because if it sounds great clean, then that's it. That's all you ever need to worry about. So, thank you for that, Steve. And Gordon has donated £10. Thank you for that, Gordon. The message is, I've missed the last two live streams, but I'm back and see you have made it to 427,000 followers. Congrats. I have been catching up with the last few posts as well. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for that, Gordon. And Susan has donated £20. Thank you for that, Susan. And the message is 3 cheers for the return of another Tuesday night live stream. Good to be back. Even though, last Tuesday we didn't have a live stream. That's when my patron said to take a night off. So I was just trying to think because I forgot that, we didn't do a live stream last Tuesday. Right, Matthew has donated £14.75. Thank you for that, Matthew. And that is a straight up donation. And Karen has donated £5.82. So thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, congrats on 427,000 subscribers. Many thanks for going the extra mile with Friday's live stream. You made it obvious that you appreciate your subscribers. I recently learned this phrase, what you believe you can achieve. Do you think there's any truth to this? Your genuineness is much appreciated. Thanks for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And what you believe you can achieve. I think that's probably about right. Obviously within reason. If you believe that you can fly or something like that, and that's probably not a good belief to have, but in terms of achieving things with your life and maybe with your work and all that kind of stuff, then I think that if you believe you can achieve it, then you can do, because you are then a lot more likely to put in the work that you need in order to achieve it. I think that a lot of people say they might really want to do something, or they might really want to achieve something, but they don't necessarily understand or appreciate the amount of work that you need to put in order to achieve the thing that they want to achieve. So I think that if you believe that it's going to happen, then you will keep on working until it happens. And then whether that's then as a result of the belief or just putting in the hours required, then that's another talking point. But then it still is true that if you believed it and then you made it happen, that it was probably the belief that made you put in the hours, because you did have that belief. And it's something that I remember back in the day when I can't remember what we were recording or which song it was, but it was myself and Griff, who you guys might know from the channel in the past. Griff was my second guitarist, and I don't know what we were recording, but he was trying to record a particular line or a bit of rhythm guitar, and it was taking ages, and he kind of kept on doing the same thing over and over again. And it's almost like when you're in the studio and you're recording, like he had a particular thing about this. I can't remember what it was, but there's a particular riff that he just couldn't get it. But he can normally do it, but then as soon as that red light comes on, then it all goes, and he kind of got self-conscious about playing and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, we were there for ages doing it, and then he just said, this is absolute nightmare. I'm just losing the will to live, and I don't want to do it anymore. Let's just call it a day. I can't be bothered, and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's because we were just recording it ourselves that we weren't getting paid to do it or anything like that. And that was maybe the frustration that he had, that it was taking so long and he was getting really annoyed. But then I said, well, it doesn't matter. We can keep on doing it because we are going to get paid for this in the future at some point. Imagine if this song, did really well and all that kind of stuff. And that was always my view, that no matter how many hours I put in of my own time, outside of my working hours, no matter how much I put in to my music in the future, I guess I had that belief that I would get paid effectively for the hours that I'm putting in, because I know that I own the royalties to my songs. So if I can get my songs out there, and again, that's down to me, then I can make a royalty from my songs being used on the internet or in TV or film or anything like that. So I had that belief. So for me, it was never a case of thinking, oh, this is taking ages and I'm not getting paid for it. It was my view was, it's taking ages, but it's because in the future, all of this stuff, we are earning our right, really, to then make money in the future, because everyone has to go through that. And I think it's just maybe a different mindset that, and I guess patience. I know that I'm a patient person and I can sit doing things for many, many hours. And even when things, I think if you want to do everything yourself and be in music, you've got to be patient when you've got gremlins, when things aren't working. And like for me, if I just said, oh, I give up because this particular thing isn't working, then I can't afford to give up. You can't just stop doing everything, because you have, I'd have another live stream to get ready for on a Tuesday or a Saturday, or a video on a Wednesday or a Friday or a Sunday, or like an interview that I'm doing on Thursday. You've got things that if they're going wrong, you have to sort them out. and as soon as possible. And it might take 5 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, might be going to the early hours of the morning trying to figure out the problems that you might be having. But you've got to, that's part of the patient side of it. You've got to kind of work through it and make sure that it will get sorted out. So I think I am quite good in that with my patients, and I think I get that from my mum. So yeah, I know that for other people it isn't particularly a strong suit of theirs, but I guess that was my belief that it's all going to pay off in the end, and it's believing that it will, and that's why you put in the hours that you do. So yes, I do. I do think that phrase has truth to it. So thank you for that, Karen. Right, Vera has donated £14.75. Thank you for that, Vera. And the message is, hi Phil, just a little donation. Get yourself a sweet treat or something you enjoy. I loved your analysis video of First Take. Congratulations on 427,000 subscribers and welcome home. Big hugs, Vera Lynn. So thank you for that, Vera. And yeah, that last video that I did, I guess is controversial, but again, it's just an objective analysis video. I think people that see it as controversial is because they might, I don't know, watch their artists on there who might be featured, and they're, I guess, annoyed that their artist is on something that is saying that it's real and actually it's not real. And again, that's something that I can't really control. And what we will do, we might jump into Troll Corner now, because this does relate to the First Take and the video that I did. But just before we do, Vicky's donated $5. So thank you for that, Vicky. And the message is, in your song Cry For Me, it's called Don't Cry, but Cry For Me, is that your sister who is in the video? So yes, that's my sister who is in the video. Diamond Girl has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Diamond Girl. The message says cool, with the pear person doing a hand sign, which is either some rock horns or something else. So thank you for that. Barbara's donated $19.99. Thank you for that, Barbara. And the message is, your kindness is so infectious. Thank you. So thank you for that, Barbara. And Linda has donated $12. Thank you for that, Linda. And the message is, a little something for the guitar lesson. So yeah, a bit of an impromptu guitar lesson in the live stream. But yeah, no problem. Thank you, Linda, for that donation. Right. Now we are going to jump into Troll Corner, and hopefully it won't go on for too long, but we have tonight's cover video, by the way, that is between Miles Away and Parisian Walkways, and at the moment is very close. So have your say in that poll to hear my version of either of those two songs. But let's jump into Troll Corner and see what's been going on. See you guys in a second. Rock. So for this, I need to look at my phone because I did a screenshot, I think, but I might be able to remember them anyway. So the first one was from, somebody saying about my video on the First Take that there's, in their video, and this is the point, it's their video, they have a whole, and hopefully you've seen it, they have a whole trailer for their channel that says about, this channel is all about, non-fakery, and it's just one take and it's totally unedited and all that stuff, and it's not that at all. It's actually the opposite. So in their video, it literally says no fakery. So I've taken that screenshot of their video, and that is in my thumbnail because it says no fakery, but it's fake. So I think for my video, you can't get clearer than that as a thumbnail of me showing you what I'm about to tell you in my video. It's entirely relevant. And somebody said that it was clickbait, and I think they didn't realize that I haven't created this image. This is their video that it's a screenshot of that I'm looking at in my video. So, and I think other people have a problem with, I don't know the artist. I don't know the artist. I think she's called Lisa or something like that. But hers just happens to be the face that's in the background where they say no fakery, because that's their video. I haven't done that. And I haven't put this Lisa artist's face in my thumbnail by editing her face behind the no fakery thing is all on. I mean, I leave links in the description of every video so that people can see that I'm not fabricating this. This is their video that says no fakery and it has this girl singing on it, and then I go on to prove that there is fakery on the channel, that it is edited, that there is pitch correction and all this stuff. So I think somebody said that, oh, by having that thumbnail, you're pulling the first take yourself. Again, trying to say that I fabricated something that isn't, truthful or honest or something. But I tried to explain, saying I haven't done anything to the thumbnail. That image is their video, which I'm looking at in my video. So yeah, I haven't been kind of taking an artist and moving them behind the fakery thing and doing all that. So again, people don't really understand. And it might be the case that they are annoyed that if this particular artist that they're a fan of, they might sing live, they might not use pitch correction or auto-tune and all that kind of stuff. But again, I can't control what that channel has used in their trailer and the people that they're showing. And it might be the case that that particular artist is now thinking, oh, maybe it's not a very good idea to be so strongly and closely affiliated with a channel that is being dishonest about what it is presenting. And again, that's up to them as an artist. But what I have heard in the comments section is that that channel is owned by Sony. And I can't confirm or deny that, but when I said in my video, it wouldn't make sense for major labels to allow their artists to go on a channel where they're going to leave in all the mistakes. It would make sense that if it were owned by a record label, of course, they are going to keep the best takes and pitch correct where appropriate if somebody missed a note, because they want their artist to look great and they want the audience to be under the impression that what they're looking at is totally unedited and it's their first take and this is just how good the artist is and all that kind of stuff, whereas it's not actually true. It's post-edited and pitch corrected and all that stuff. So yeah, and again, it's just an objective analysis video. So the reason that it was so controversial is because they are literally claiming the opposite to what they're doing in their videos. That's why I said it is the biggest fraud that I've seen on YouTube, because even with another video that I did where people were pretending to be on America's Got Talent and claiming ad revenue by registering songs as their own, all that kind of stuff, they are not claiming that they were on America's Got Talent. They are misleading the audience with visual information, with video that they don't own, and using registered trademarks and all that kind of stuff. They are not claiming it outright, but this particular channel is claiming it outright. So that's why it is such a fraud, because they're saying, hi guys, this is our channel, this is what we do, and everything is like this, totally honest, totally above board, and this is what you're getting. And then they're doing the opposite. So that's why it's just a massive fraud, because it's just blatant lying. But of course, people don't know. They're going to accept whatever the channel's telling them, and they're going to assume that, oh, my favourite singer is singing perfectly on the lines of A440, standard pitch, equal temperament. And even though sound doesn't work like that, and it's literally impossible for human vocal cords to do, my favourite singer is doing it. Of course, they don't know that it's all calibrated now. And it's, as you guys know from the analysis videos, it's clear as day when something is pitch corrected, just stuck on lines of A440. So anyway, that was the first bit for Troll Corner. The second bit, I'm going to have to try and find this, because I did take a screenshot. Here we go. Okay, quite a long one here, but this isn't really a troll comment, but this person said, I'm trying to understand why anyone cares. And this is related to the first take video where they're just misleading everybody. So they say, I'm trying to understand why anyone cares. This is the world now, and it will only get worse. Let's first state that you and your followers are clearly not the target audience for this channel. Second, I might go through this point by point. First of all, saying, why does anyone care? This is the world now, and it will only get worse. And I responded saying, but just that statement saying, what's the problem? It's only going to get worse. Saying that something is getting worse, that is a problem, because humans want things to get better. That's how we evolve, is by improving. And throughout the generations, we start to reach a higher level by improving. We don't just accept, oh, the next generation is going to go down, and then we're going to go down, and then we're going to go down. So why does anyone care that that's going to happen? We don't want to devolve. We want to evolve. So I said just that statement is clear indication as to, oh, just accept that everything in the future is going to be rubbish. Then say, let's first state that you and your followers are clearly not the target audience for this channel. And that probably makes it even worse, because the people that they are targeting are people that don't know any better. So they're trying to manipulate an audience that don't know what they're watching. So again, I'd say that that's contrary to the point that this person's making. Then they say, secondly, we can all agree that music has changed, not necessarily for the better. There is some interesting stuff out there, but as someone that was born in 1957 and lived through the most prolific period of music creation in history, I kind of dig how many of these performers are making a go at being songwriters. Most of the performers on that channel are still in their late teens or early 20s. Many of our musical heroes were still experimenting at that age. In the end, it doesn't matter that they say they don't edit but do. We don't have to say, hey, you edited, let it be. So, and I also made the point that saying that most of the performers on that channel are in their late teens or early 20s, whereas with this person who was born in 1957, a lot of his heroes were a lot older. I made the point that now, where a singer might have to work at their voice for 5 years, maybe longer, to become more accurate pitch-wise, because you had to be accurate pitch-wise in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. You had to be better than other singers. And how do you get better? You have to practice. And you can't do that in a week. It takes years to become a better vocalist. So saying that all of these artists now are in their late teens to early 20s, I just made the point that now you don't need to work at your voice. You can cut out 5 or 10 years worth of vocal practice to become more accurate at hitting pitches, because you've got pitch correction. So, there's that side of the argument. Maybe the reason that everyone is now so young is because they don't have to work at hitting pitch, which is such a difficult thing to do. It is a skill that takes years to get good at. So once you get rid of all those years, somebody who would have been in their early 20s or mid 20s now have got the potential to be singing, in inverted commas, with pitch correction in their late teens, because they don't need the pitch accuracy. But that's how the industry's changed, that now there is technology where singers can rely on that technology and they can just use it. Whereas you couldn't do that back in the 60s and the 70s. And your competition, they didn't have pitch correction either. So it means that you are competing against getting better at the skill than other people on the radio. And that's the only way that you're going to get featured, is if your vocal is accurate and it's unique and you've got great control and all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of people, and that was saying let it be, I think a lot of people do care about a skill and somebody who's genuinely worked at that skill in order to be able to perform at a really high level vocally, and then other people that haven't worked at the skill but use technology in order to make it sound like they are accurate pitch-wise. And of course they are. Once you calibrate your vocals, you will be accurate pitch-wise, but they're not saying that you're using technology to do it. Obviously the people that have really worked at it, I think with the wider audience tend to get a little bit more respect, because they can actually go and do it live, and go and do it live without auto-tune or needing that technology. Because if the technology breaks on a particular night, what are you going to do if you can't hit the notes? If your auto-tune is malfunctioning and we're about to go live and it's an hour and a half set, what are you going to do? They'd probably cancel the gig nowadays. They say, oh, well, even though I'm a singer, I can't sing without the technology. So, but anyway, an interesting comment there. But a lot of the things that this person was saying, that there's an easy response to it. That even just saying, well, just let it be. Everything's going to get worse, so just accept it. It's like, well, no, I think that when stuff is starting to get worse and it's dishonest, ultimately, that's got to be pointed out. So that then if people like it and they know what it is anyway, and they know that it's not real and that it is actually manipulated and edited. But if they still like it, there's no problem with that. But at least the people that want to know, because to them it makes a difference, then they can decide whether they want to listen to it or not. Because I think there are a lot of people that genuinely don't like when something's been done and they haven't been told about it. And I know, because I received the emails where people say, I can't believe that this performance or this artist was using auto-tune or they're using pitch correction because I thought they were a great singer. So, I know that people do have a problem with it. So for the people that don't care, it makes no difference to mention it, because mentioning it is for the people that do care, so then they can decide what to spend their money on if they're buying concert tickets or whatever. So anyway, there we go. That is Troll Corner for tonight, and I'll see you guys in a second. Rock! So we are going to be jumping into the cover video for tonight, but just quickly, Sue has donated $9.99. Thank you for that, Sue. The message is, please allow me to respond to that comment. I can speak for all 427,000 of us. We care a lot. So thanks for shining your light on this issue. So thank you for that, Sue. And this is the other thing, that when I do get comments like that saying, who cares? And you think, can they not see the amount of people that care in the comment section? Because they say, it's outrageous. People lying about something and saying that the opposite is happening. So yeah, thank you for that, Sue. And Karen's donated $10. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, I watched the induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Cher spoke about pitch correction without saying the words and actually seemed proud of it. It was disappointing. So thank you for that. And I mean, yeah, that was, I would say Cher's more auto-tune than pitch correction, because that's really what her song Believe is what it then started out as, and then pitch correction really became the prominent thing in 2001. So it's only 3 years later that Melodyne released their first version of pitch correction. So there you go. So over the last 23 years, it's just really taken off, where now everything is pitch corrected. And when people say, I think somebody said, can you analyze the top 10 in the charts, top 10 songs, and see exactly how prevalent pitch correction is? And it's an industry standard. So it means I don't have to look at the top 10. I can go through, I would say, I would be surprised if there's a song in the top 10 that isn't pitch corrected, because it's just done as standard now. It doesn't really matter what the type of song is. And as you guys will see in future videos that I'm going to release on the channel, even singers who don't use it live, their releases and even their live performances then get pitch corrected. Like Bryan Adams, for example. If he's getting pitch corrected, then there's no hope for anybody out there. So anyway, thank you for that, Karen. Right, let's jump into It's Going to Be Miles Away. That's 51% of the vote. So let me end the poll, skip the advert, and I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock! Okay, so quick introduction to this next video. This is more of a tribute video to Kip Winger, as I've been to see Kip in London and with his band, Winger, numerous times, and once I even went to France just to watch Winger. So this is my tribute, and it's me playing and singing Miles Away, and I hope you like it. See you later. Rock!
So this is love, also you tell me, as you're walking out the door. Months go by and I know for certain it's not the love I'm looking for. Sometimes, just for a moment, I reach out and hope you're still there. Miles away, no, you're never turning back. I just can't wait anymore. Miles away, nothing left but what we had. Just when I needed you most, you were miles away. It's hard to tell what you're going through. You kept your feelings locked inside of you. Open your heart and chances are what you're feeling, I'm feeling too. If
And there we have it. That's my version of the Winger Classic, Miles Away. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And I saw that Ro went through the comment section asking about Thursday's interview. And it's not me interviewing somebody else, it's somebody interviewing me. And that's going to be the magazine Rock and Folk, which is a French magazine. And it's quite a big magazine over there, I believe. So yeah, I'll try and record that particular interview and maybe release it as a video on my channel, but that's for their magazine that they're going to be talking to me. So it's a little bit the other way around, because on the channel usually I speak to other people, but now other people are speaking to me. So I do my best to keep you guys in the loop as to if I can release a video. I don't know what their terms are going to be with that interview and whether I can release it on my channel or not, whether it's just something that they want for their magazine, but I will be able to find out. As always, I'll let you guys know over on Patreon. So there's been another donation in the PayPal window, so thank you for this, Cindy. It's a donation of £25, and the message is: Hi Phil, on Wikipedia it lists the First Take YouTube channel as being owned and created by Sony Music Japan. I did a brief rundown of artists and it appears that a large majority of the artists on the channel are signed to Sony or a subsidiary. So thank you for that, Cindy, and yes, that makes perfect sense. Why would you have your artists go on a YouTube channel where potentially all the mistakes are going to be left in and they might look a bit silly? It's better to own your own YouTube channel and then say it's all above board, but it actually isn't. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clearing that up, Cindy. Right, I think we are ready probably to have a Phil Jam. We are at 554 likes, so thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. It is very much appreciated. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, then you can keep on doing it, hitting that thumbs up button. It really does help the live stream to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. So we are going to be jumping into Phil Jam number 181, and Joe sent this to me on, I think, Friday, maybe, because I think he panicked, not realizing that I didn't have a guitar, so I couldn't do the Phil Jam anyway. So he's now sent it again, so thank you for this. And I'm just trying to remember. Oh, the guitar's still... So I don't know whether my voice has been echoing, but I left the microphone on from when I was demonstrating hammer-ons and pull-offs and pinched harmonics earlier. Right, oh, and I'm actually rolling over the lead, which doesn't help at all. So, grab this, do that. I've got to remember what I'm actually doing. So, we're going to be clicking on the link. That will help. And I did see in the picture that it says something like Bossa Nova or something. Or maybe this is or maybe that was a different video that I was reading. Oh no, this is chord rhythms in D minor, flamenco, rumba, guitar, backing track, play along. So that's tonight's video, and this comes from Erto Sound, ERTO and then sound. So I don't know whether I've clicked on the right video, but we will have a listen to this. Let me know what the levels are like, and we'll see what happens. Flamenco, rumba. Have we had one like this before? I'm not sure, but yeah, this is potentially going to be interesting. Let me know what the levels are like, if you can hear this. Uh-oh. Oh, it started. Is it going to be just percussion? Aye! Oh, don't want distortion. Seems like the levels are okay. Oh, zoom out! how long's left. I'm toying with going to a... Which is impossible to fade out and play at the same time. So there we go. That was Cool Rhythms in D minor, flamenco rumba guitar backing track. Play along from Erto Sound, E-R-T-O and Sound. So there we go. Yeah, not a style that I'm particularly familiar with, but there we go. It is what it is. Thank you for sending that one my way, Joe. And it means that we are going to be calling things to an end now for tonight's live stream. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, of course, 8 p.m. British summertime. It's going to be Greenwich Mean Time soon, I think, but yeah, I always aim for 8 p.m. for the analysis videos. So look out for that tomorrow night. There'll be another one on Friday night, and then we'll be live streaming again at 11 p.m. On Saturday night. And I know that YouTube has been throwing all kinds of times out there, but I will be live streaming at the same time. So, Bob says, please be sure to join us at the Wings of Pegasus supporters group for the after party right after the live stream. So thank you for that. And right, yeah, we are going to call it a day, but at the next live stream I will show some pictures, because I do have a few of those to show tonight, but I've just realized that I haven't set up the screen capture for the pictures. So yeah, it's not something that I can do now, but look out for those on Saturday. We'll have a picture corner, and maybe it's troll corner, or probably the guitar demonstrations that may just run a little bit further over than we normally do. So yes, have a great rest of your week, and all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. And I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!